Welcome to The Fight on Matrix Midwest with Randy Carricker and company.
Hi kids, welcome to the program. Great to have you with us. That is Andrew, I'm Randy, and we have a good show coming up.
Oh, loaded for you.
It is. We've got Missouri. Are they in or out of the NCAA tournament? We've got Tigers' best shots ever. And Greg Amsinger of MLB Network joins us. But let's get things started with our quick hits. And Cardinal skipper Ollie Marmol announced that Matthew Liberatore will start the Cardinals' first spring training game on Saturday against the Nationals. Liberatore is now the senior member of the Cardinals' starting rotation, but he's excited about the competition from the new guys that he's seeing.
It's competition, but it's healthy competition, and it's it's collaboration too. Just having more minds and more arms to bounce things off of and talk to guys about different stuff. It's definitely exciting having so many new faces here.
And Andrew, I would hope that, especially when Adam Wainwright comes to camp, that this group, and apparently they're already doing it, will really coalesce to become a team within a team. Like Chris Carpenter always said, go out and watch each other's bullpens. Go out and do things together. Become a team within a team.
And we've seen that already a little bit with Liberatore, guys coming out to see his bullpen. And I'm really curious to see, Randy, how much he steps up in a leadership role. You talk about becoming a team. How do you build continuity? Well, you need a leader. And Matthew Liberatore can be that guy for the Cardinals pitching rotation.
Well, as the guy who's supposed to set the tone, Liberatore told our Tamar Scher that he's got a new weapon on the way.
I'm always working on everything. I'd like everything to be a little bit better, but kind of broke headlines on Twitter the other day that I'm breaking out a splitter potentially this year. So that is the secret pitch that I've been working on this offseason. Still don't know exactly where it's going to be come season time, but that could possibly be a seventh pitch for me this year.
He's already a good pitcher, and he's trying to get better all the time. And that's what makes a great pitcher. A good pitcher that goes great, that does that. By the way, it's incredible to me that he is the senior member of the Cardinal pitching staff.
The guy that is in line to start on opening day against the Rays, mind you, the team that drafted him. That's just poetic in itself.
Meanwhile, in hockey, USA Hockey has moved on, and they keep the gold medal dreams alive in Italy after a 2-1 overtime win over Sweden. Quinn Hughes got the game winner for the United States. He had the assist on the first goal and now has 6 points in 4 games. 2 of the 3 other quarterfinal matchups went to overtime. Canada with a scare against Czechia. Finland scored 3 unanswered to beat Switzerland. The Americans take on Dalibor Dvorsky's Slovakian bunch on Friday, and it still seems to me that the USA and Canada should wind up in the gold medal game.
Yeah, that's just how it needs to end up. It's how it happened on the women's ice. It needs to happen that way on the men's ice, too. But as you look at this semifinal matchup, I should say, between Slovakia and the U.S., you look at the Slovakian team, and you can't sleep on them all too much. This is a group that, even though they're young, they are starting to give those hockey fans, the fans that love hockey in Slovakia, the Marian Hossa, Marian Gaborik, Chara type of vibes with Cedar, Slafkovsky, and now Dalibor Dvorsky, but they can't compete against the U.S. The U.S. is just too deep.
And the USA, they need their best guy. They need Matthew Tkachuk to step up, and I don't know if he's completely healthy, but he needs to be there for this team to be dominant. Can they be really good with him not playing at his best? Yes, but can they be dominant? I don't think so. However, that being said, they're getting good work out of Connor Hellebuck. Their defense has played well, and they're getting just enough of their forwards so that they can win games. But it'll be tough. If they play Canada, they're going to have their hands full, but so will Canada.
And give credit where credit's due. Quinn Hughes staying on the ice in that quarterfinal game, waving off the bench in overtime, saying, no, I'm still good to go, and then scoring the game winner. Yeah, I put my trust in Quinn Hughes.
What a move. The Kansas City Chiefs just knocked the financial can down the road by restructuring Patrick Mahomes' contract, turning over $54 million of his 2026 salary into a signing bonus to free up cap space. Under the terms of the restructured deal, Mahomes will count an additional $11 million against the following year's cap. The Chiefs are already expected to cut Jalen Moore. They're expected to make some more moves in terms of their roster so that they can get have less cap space taken up. Now, with Mahomes, his cap number will be $85 million for 2027. They'll restructure again, but here's the thing. The cap is going to be over $300 million this year. It's gone up over $100 million in the last 5 years. I think this will wind up being a non-factor for the Chiefs.
If it does become putting the Chiefs in a hole in the next 4 or 5 years. Say the Chiefs are in a hole. Who cares? You're dealing with Patrick Mahomes in his prime right now. You don't want to waste any time when you have a legend of a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. So restructuring the deal is very important to rebuild that defense, getting a pass rusher, getting more weapons for Mahomes so that he can look like he did just a few years ago with that team leading you back to the Super Bowl. There is opportunity here, and the Chiefs are doing all the best and right things in order to put Mahomes in the best situation to succeed.
They're going to cut Mike Dan to their right end, too. You talk about the pass rush. They need both edge and interior pass rush. Their defense is the 5th youngest in the NFL. Young equals inexpensive in the National Football League. They've got the highest paid guard. They've got the highest paid center. They've got a first rounder in the left tackle. They have a right tackle now. So I think the offensive line is going to be okay. Probably need to replace Rashee Rice, though. He keeps getting in trouble, and they probably aren't going to have him. Maybe Tyreek Hill comes back.
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I'm all about the cheetah. Bring him back and also get a running back right in the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Get
Or sign Travis Etienne. Ooh. Or get both. There you go.
Why not?
Yeah. Mizzou had a 21-point lead over number 19 Vanderbilt, and then they had to hang on for an 81-80 win. The selection committee may have been more impressed if Mizzou had beaten Vandy by 20, but they won't penalize the Tigers for beating a ranked team, number 19 in the country. Next up for Mizzou, at number 20 Arkansas. The Tigers can get knocked out by one loss and pretty much need to win every game to guarantee themselves an at-large bid. It's really an interesting dilemma that they're in now because of the loss to Texas. I think they put themselves in a win-every-game situation.
Anybody else go to sleep like me?
Oh, I was watching.
Up 20,
yeah.
Thinking roughly 7 minutes to go. Yeah, Mizzou's got this. Vanderbilt doesn't look all that great, and there they go again, doing what they did against Oklahoma and fighting all the way back, but still losing by 1. Mizzou comes away with the victory here, which is great. And also, I've been telling you guys for weeks now, T.O. Barrett, Trent Pierce, Jaden Stone. It's not just the Mark Mitchell show anymore. Those 3 guys have stepped up in such a big way. I'm so excited about what this team has in front of them now because once you get this win, that is their meaningful win to get into the tournament. I don't care if you lose 2 games to Arkansas. You're getting in now.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. And by the way, one thing Mizzou showed everybody that they'll play, they can't handle pressure in the backcourt. They can't handle being pressed, and that's why they gave up the 21-point lead. Everybody else saw that now, and especially an athletic team like Arkansas, if Mizzou has a lead late, well, heck, for the whole game, they're going to see backcourt pressure now. They aren't going to have an easy time getting the ball out of their own zone. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Cardinals. And Chad Jennings at The Athletic suggests this season could be a crossroads moment for the Redbirds, writing that it may be the last chance for Jordan Walker and Nolan Gorman to prove they belong in the long-term plans. This is unmistakably a rebuilding year and maybe the last chance for those two, according to Jennings. But Jordan Walker turns 24 in May. Nolan Walker turns 26 in May. Are you going to give up on a 24 and a 26-year-old because you're frustrated because of the starts of their careers? I get that you can be impatient and you can be bothered by the fact that they haven't gotten it going yet. But if you evaluate them as potentially good hitters down the road and you let them walk because you're frustrated, that doesn't make any sense to me.
And this is a no-pressure season. It's just a no-pressure season. Everybody out there doesn't get it. The Cardinals had to put themselves in this spot in order to get back to where they could be in a spot where you could talk about trading away Jordan Walker or Nolan Gorman if they didn't fit the puzzle anymore, but you were on the verge of winning. The Cardinals aren't on the verge of winning. So why sell off some of these young superstars? And I'm going to call them superstars because they were drafted to be superstars. Why sell off on them now when you're not even in any position to win? It makes zero sense. I don't think anyone of that age or younger is going to find themselves on a new team.
Unless the Cardinals evaluate them as no chance guys. If they decide, okay, we thought he was going to be one thing. He's not. It's not going to happen for him, so we're going to move on from him. Then you're fine doing it. And if they turn out to be great, you decided that it wasn't going to happen for you. That's the only way I see this being a last chance for those guys. But the way they're talking about Jordan Walker again is that they're really excited about it. And the way they always talk about Nolan Gorman is, hey, if he hits the ball, it goes. It's just a matter of him being patient enough to find the right pitch to cause damage.
Let me see him play 140 games, multiple seasons, before we say, yeah, let's give up on these guys.
Those are your quick hits here in the fight. And later in the show, we're going to have a little risky business. We're going to build a parlay, and hopefully we'll come up with a winner for you. But coming up next, our buddy Greg Amsinger of MLB Network talking Cardinals and more here on The Fight.
Now live with MLB Network host Greg Amsinger. Brought to you by St. Luke's. Experience healthcare the way it should be. Experience St. Luke's.
He is a native of St. Louis. He is a product of the Lindenwood University. He's one of our best buddies, and he is the lead anchor for MLB Network. He is Greg Amsinger, and he joins us now, as he does every week here on the show. Greg, first of all, great to have you with us. Second of all, did you see one time Ohio State tried to register the word "the" in front of the Ohio State? I don't think they won.
They did
so
not.
We can still call it the Lindenwood University.
You know, I think you were the first to coin that phrase, the Lindenwood University, which there's got to be the history of Lindenwood University, like the book somewhere. And I think you need to be interviewed in that chapter when you officially
prove us
named it.
wrong.
Randy, I mean, your name's littered all over the history of the university. The Lindenwood University really is your baby creation. So congratulations.
Well, thank you, sir. All right, let's talk some ball. The Cardinal rotation, and this is unbelievable. Matthew Liberatore, the senior member of the pitching staff and of the rotation, but they also have Michael McGreevy, Dustin May, Richard Fitz, and whoever wins the competition for the fifth spot. A couple of years ago, as we all remember, they had Sonny Gray, Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson, Miles Michaelis. Is this group more exciting than that one?
Oh, yeah, like way more swing and miss and upside. And the older group, we were like, fingers crossed they get another season out of them, right? That's kind of the way we viewed it. But I will say this group is exciting because that group existed. What happens with so many small market teams is they rush their young pitching talent to the big leagues way too soon. And they don't spend money on a Miles Michaelis and a Lance Lynn and a Sonny Gray and guys that are in spring training that have a routine that all the McGreevy's and Liberatores can be around and watch. And you're not rushing into the big leagues to balloon their ERA to at the age of 21 or 22 to over 5 or 6. This is what the Marlins do all the time. This is what other small market organizations do. And look, pitching is confidence. You got to feel like you can get guys out. When your brains are beaten in the first 2 or 3 years of your career, good luck overcoming that.
Greg, I got a guy for you. I got a guy for you. Johan Oviedo, right? That happened to him. It's great stuff, great ability, but the Cardinals kind of broke him.
Yeah, and now he's with the Red Sox, I believe. There's a reason teams want him. He's got a lot of swing and miss. Physicality, 6'5", big dude. The ball jumps out of his hand. But confidence is everything. So it is important to have those veterans that can eat up innings in a season and let your younger arms develop. And now it's their time. And when we look at their time, we're saying things like, how exciting is this group? But that only comes because we as fans didn't watch them get their brains beaten in when they were 20, 21, and 22.
Speaking of exciting groups in Jupiter, Yadi said his role would be to spend a couple of series in St. Louis and then head to the minors to spend time with the catchers. I know you like hearing that. Based on where and who he spends his time most with, though, do you think that could actually reveal which young catchers the organization trusts most for the future?
Well, I'm a big guy on comps doing the draft. I look at all players and I go, who does he remind me of? Who's he remind me of? There's only one catcher in the entire Cardinal system that will remind you of Yadier Molina. Leonardo Bernal is the guy. He's 22 years old. His offensive skill set is actually very similar to Yadi, but he's ahead of schedule where Yadi was when he was in the minor leagues. Now, Yadi got into the big leagues at a younger age, but it's a very similar skill set. Best receiver of the group. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Crooks. I think this kid's bat can play. He's not a bad receiver behind behind home plate. But if you're taking Yadier Molina, who's one of the greatest defensive catchers of all time, and you're trying to get him to work with someone, I mean, look, you wouldn't send Ozzie Smith to go work with Troy Tulowitzki if you've got a guy like Mason Wynn. That just your optics go to the Mason Wynn comp. That's someone that Ozzie can do a few things. So I just think Bernal is the catcher of the future. And everyone else, it's important that Yadi works with them because, like I said to you last week, inventory is vital at this stage of an organization. As you're trying to move pieces in the minors and in the big leagues to get even more depth, if you're going to work from a place of depth, which is the catching position in this organization, making sure the veterans that are your current Mike Matheny's, your Ivan Herreras, who you don't really know if they're a catcher in the big leagues, you want to make sure all of these guys are getting the best guidance possible as you continue to tinker with the roster going forward.
Hey, Greg, I want you to take a listen to Lars Nootbaar. I don't think any of us had any idea how injured he was. He arrived in camp earlier in the week, and he arrived late because he's still rehabbing those heels. Here's Nootbaar on how injured he really was.
There were points past couple years where I couldn't walk up and down stairs without really gripping a rail, and so I just felt like I was 26, 27, going on 28 now, and I was just I know guys play through pain, but this feels a little bit more than what people probably play through on a daily basis and go through, and so getting out of the booth, just being able to walk around right now and not have pain has been nice.
All right, we talk to a lot of hitters, and hitters always talk about the base, how important it is to have your feet on the ground. How good do you think Lars Nootbaar can be if he's healthy?
My comp for him when he broke into the big leagues was Andy Van Slyke. Andy Van Slyke's best seasons with the Pittsburgh Pirates, he was an all-star center fielder. I think Nootbaar has center field skills, but clearly they moved him to a corner because he couldn't move at the same level as other guys had in the organization. This is also a reflection, guys, of what happens when an organization doesn't have the finances to commit to young players. And what do I mean by that? We wonder why a Lars Nootbaar dropped off after it looked like he was emerging in his early 20s. Well, if you don't have security, you can't give away playing opportunity to a guy that might grab the reins and you never get a chance to play again. So when a player doesn't feel like they have a commitment from an organization, you see stories like this, players that are playing through pain and diminishing their value based on their statistics that they're producing while they're in pain. So unfortunately, this is the aftermath of that. I hope he's able to prove that a Lars Nootbaar is a similar Andy Van Slyke type of comp, because look, everyone in St. Louis loves the guy. He's got a personality that really helps the brand, and the Cardinals are better if this young man who has natural skills of getting on base, he's got a great idea of the strike zone. The problem is if you're not doing damage when you touch the ball, why pitch around a Lars Nootbaar? Mm-hmm. So he was getting challenged so much more, not walking as much the last 2 years, because no one's trying to throw a backdoor slider to Lars Nootbaar if he's not doing damage on a heater middle in. So hopefully a 100% Nootbaar leads to an all-star type performance.
If expectations drive excitement, Greg, I think it's fair to say that fans are most excited to see J.J. Weatherholt this year. What's the biggest challenge, though, for a young player when he becomes the headline?
That is all, you're really not comparing apples to apples when you ask me a question like that, because Jackson Holliday had to learn how to be the 9-hole hitter when he got to the big leagues and learn how to play a position he had never really played in his entire life, second base. That's terrible for Jackson Holliday, and you saw the performance intertwined with that. This is a completely different story. J.J. Weatherholt is going to play in middle infield position, and he's going to hit in the top 4 of the lineup. He's going to be viewed the second he debuts as one of the best offensive players that the Cardinals have. They're building around this first-round pick, and so often we mess up prospects. Jack Caglione, who's got such a high upside with the Kansas City Royals, gets the big league, struggles mightily. The Kansas City Royals drafted him. He was a two-way star, 100 miles an hour from the left side with a nasty breaking ball. A two-way John Olerud Award winner at the University of Florida. This is all he's ever done. Two-way player, all he's ever done. I'm not saying make him Shohei Ohtani, but you're telling me 8-1 you're losing on a Friday night, game 1 of a 3-game set at Fenway Park against the Boston Red Sox, instead of airing out your entire bullpen, just have Jack Caglione get on the mound, throw 100 with a nasty breaking ball for 3 or 4 innings and save your bullpen. They decide we want him to focus more on hitting, so we're going to shut down the whole pitching part of his game. Well, he's never overthought hitting in his life, so you're changing his routine. So often we forget how important that is for young players. That's why the Jordan Walker story, trying to get him to hit the ball in the air more. Oh, let it become a solidified big leaguer first before you start doing that. I think J.J. Weatherholt is going to be told, just like you are in college, just like you are in the minor leagues, you're one of the best players on the team. You're going to play every day. You're going to hit in the first inning, which is a very big deal, guys. All of these superstars, they hit in the first inning. When they have to wait an hour to hit, that messes with them, okay? It puts even more pressure on that first at bat. So I think J.J. Weatherhold's mission is just stay true to who you are. That's it. This is not a Jackson Holiday situation. Stay true to who you are. Don't do more than you have to. You're going to be a star in the big leagues.
Greg, Andrew mentioned that Molina's in camp, Ozzie is there, Izzy is there, and Ali Marmol said he's planning to have Adam Wainwright in camp. Rumor has it David Freese is going to show up. You see a lot of spring trainings. How much does the presence of franchise icons, and I know the Dodgers do it, the Giants do it, how much difference does it really make?
Huge. Huge. If you want, there are so many pieces that go into players signing contract extensions and not hoping and getting to free agency. If you can make, we all like golf on this show right now. We all like golf. If you can make your organization to a young player feel like they're a member of a legit elite club, right? You're a St. Louis Cardinal. And look at the players from years past who we honor, who we love, who we still keep on the payroll, if you think about it. And they are proud to wear the Cardinal hoodie and walk around with a fungo bat. And they're having a great time hanging out. You're watching Ozzie and Jose Oquendo and Willie McGee laughing in the corner. You're running into them with your boys. You see those guys in the corner of a steakhouse with a corner booth, and they're drinking a couple bottles of wine and the greatest time. You start to think to yourself, wait, maybe this is an organization that I would like to commit to long term. There are so many aspects that go into making players emotionally connected to an organization, and this is one of them. If you don't roll the history of your organization out in front of the eyeballs of the young stars that you have, then you're never going to get that long-term commitment that you want from your young core.
Greg, let's go around the league. Who would you say is a candidate to win their division that currently isn't the favorite?
Wow. This is not probably going to go over well in St. Louis, but the team that if I had to pick the champion of the NL Central, it's the Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Reds over the Cubs, over the Brewers. The Peralta loss, I think, is just too big for the Brewers. I don't think the Chicago Cubs have a stable offensive force yet in Pete Crow Armstrong. I'm worried about his second half. I think the Cincinnati Reds, take a look at their depth chart, guys. Just take a look. They've got 1 through 7 in that starting rotation. Sal Stewart, breakout player, by the way. He's going to play first base. Noelvi Marte, his last 2 months in the big leagues, he played like an all-star. Ellie De La Cruz is going to get it back. I think the Cincinnati Reds are going to win the Central.
Hey, I love the Yankees, and I love the Blue Jays, but I really like the pitching that Boston has and the Chapman at the back end of the bullpen, adding Contreras. I know Bregman is a huge loss for them, but I like Caleb Durbin. I wouldn't be surprised to see Boston contend in that AL East either.
I'm worried about their lineup. They went and got Contreras because they need Contreras. So we watched him, right? Mm-hmm. I think if I go get Contreras and I put him at first base and I think I'm going to win my division, he's hitting 6th in my lineup. The Red Sox are going to need him to hit the middle of the order. Roman Anthony literally has to play like a young Juan Soto for the Boston Red Sox to win that division. Might happen. But all I know is he played the same number of games as Colson Montgomery, and Colson Montgomery hit over 20 bombs, but no one thinks Colson Montgomery is Roman Anthony, who had 8 home runs, didn't even hit 290. Why? Because Roman Anthony walks. Roman Anthony is great at not touching the ball. Yep. And if we think that means he's a superstar, okay. But I just don't think the Red Sox lineup is going to be able to bang with the Blue Jays and the Yankees at the level you might think.
Big baseball news of the week, MLBPA Executive Director Tony Clark resigning, and Bruce Meyer replaces him on an interim basis. He's going to do everything. Bruce Meyer was Clark's deputy. He was already the negotiator. How much difference do you think that'll make? How much effect will it have on the CBA negotiations?
Well, I think whatever you at home think or guys in the studio think of Scott Boras, he just became much more influential over this collective bargaining agreement. He recommended Bruce Meyer to his position of deputy commissioner, or deputy executive director under Tony Clark. And all I can tell you is when Tony Clark had all of the players vote on the package that was approved in the last collective bargaining agreement, the executive subcommittee that's made up of 8 players, they could have voted on their own. And Tony Clark wanted all voices represented. Bruce Meyer said after the subcommittee voted against it unanimously, and then the entire voting body voted majority for it. Bruce Meyer said that he wouldn't have had the entire voting body vote for it. So to me, I think it's going to be a different approach. I'll just say that. This is not going to be the same approach that Tony Clark took with the players. Bruce Meyer is going to take a much more concentrated approach, which I think will behoove Scott Boras. So a shorter answer, Scott Boras just became much more influential in these upcoming collective bargaining talks.
Yeah, first thing I thought of. He's the most powerful man in baseball. He's a great negotiator. Might not be great for the fans. We might miss games, but his players are going to drive the bus here. It's not going to be the rookies. It's going to be the people that are making the most money, Scott Boras clients, and so there won't be a cap. I think as stridently against a cap as Scott Boras is, I don't think that there's any chance now that the owners can get that.
Yeah, it's going to be much more difficult. No question about that. I will say that what is going to become a serious point of conversation that already is being discussed is the competitive balance in our sport. Are we going to see an Oklahoma City against the Indiana Pacers in a World Series? Are we going to see markets like that? Oklahoma City is a minor league market in our sport. And then what happened after Oklahoma City won the NBA title? They locked up their 3 best players in Oklahoma City. Is that reality ever coming to Major League Baseball? How's Detroit going to react when they're 2 games out of first place in the AL Central at the deadline and Tarek Skubal gets traded? Is that going to be okay? These are things that as they are fixated on finances in the open market and the top 5% getting half of all the players' wealth, and I understand that's what Scott Boras cares about, he's going to have to address, and Bruce Meyer will do the same, this competitive imbalance in baseball that seems to really be frustrating fans all over the sport. And that's just the reality.
All right, Sunday, Greg Amsinger is going to fly into Sky Harbor International Airport in Phoenix. Don't forget to pack your golf shoes, okay?
Oh, I won't. Don't you worry about that. I might have 3 different pairs of golf shoes.
Good man.
I like to hear.
I'll be playing lots of golf.
You're the best, and we'll be watching. I know you're going to be busy on MLB Network, and we'll be watching all of your coverage next week.
And if you're a fan and you see me at a spring training site in Arizona, just look away when I'm in the parking lot, because that's when I change into my golf boots.
Sounds good.
Or change out of it.
No, I work first. I wear stuff like this. Then after I'm done working, Yonder Alonzo and I hurry up and change. We're like in our underwear in the parking lot. So just look away if you see me in a parking lot.
Have a great time. We love you, and we'll talk later.
All right, take care, guys.
See you, man.
That's the great Greg Amsinger here on The Fight. And we're live with Greg every week. He is sponsored by St. Luke's, top-notch doctors in everything from heart health, orthopedics, and more. Visit stlukes-stl.com today. Coming up, we've got the list. We've got Tiger Woods' best shots here in The Fight. Time for the list, and with Tiger Woods expressing confidence this week that he'll play on tour again and not ruling out this year's Masters, we thought we'd take a look at some of the greatest moments of Tiger's career. And Andrew, I'll get things started with the 2000 Firestone Invitational in Akron, Ohio. Tiger already led the tournament by 10 shots, but had to finish in the dark, and he tied the course record. He shattered the tournament record at 11 under 259 and beat runners-up Justin Leonard and Philip Price by 11 shots.
167 yards. This one appears to be online, I think.
Oh, you can't do that.
I couldn't see it in the stat.
That can't happen.
Listen to him, though. Listen to how you describe it.
Believe it. How about that? Lights out.
I used to sneak out on the golf course to go play in twilight like this. Then I used to have probably 2 or 3 holes in pitch black dark when you have to call the shot. That's the feel, and it's how I grew up playing.
He's let them in the dark again. Yes, I've never seen the likes of this.
Oh, none of us have. That's right. Earl Woods would have Tiger play in the dark to visualize the shot And that's what he did to close out this win. Absolutely amazing. You talk about thinking of everything. Yeah, let's hit shots in the dark just in case. and they did, and they worked.
And there's no stopping Tiger, too. It's like trying to pull Max Scherzer out of a baseball game in the 9th inning. It's like, no, Tiger's going to finish the round, right? We've seen recently Wesley Bryan have to finish a round sprinting in 89 minutes, and he actually, I think, was 2 under par that day, but they would always they would like stop it. They'd say, all right, we're going to restart the next day. Nope, Tiger, in 2000, we're going to finish this round.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right, my number 3. I'll start with the comeback no one thought was possible, Randy. Tiger, way past his prime, hadn't won a major in over a decade, and then the 2019 Masters happened.
Many doubted we'd ever see it. But here it is. The return to glory.
Francesco Molinari looked to have the green jacket locked up, but fell apart on the back 9, the time that Tiger shines, and shine Tiger did. His hole 16 shot that was basically inches from going in, made a tap-in par on 17, and then all he needed was a bogey to clinch 18. And this hug right here, right? After everything that he's gone through, all of the adversity, it just all seemed to release from his body when he celebrated that putt going in, and then he got to hug his family, the same spot he did back in 1997. Just a pretty incredible and poetic, really, ending to the 2019 Masters.
Yeah, and he's hugging his son, Charlie, where he hugged his father, Earl, when he won his first Masters. It really was the full circle situation, and you're right. It was unbelievable that he won, and the comeback started here at the PGA the previous year, and to win that last Masters was so fitting.
Yeah, give me more of Tiger at the Masters.
Yeah. All right, my number 2, at the 2010 Ryder Cup singles competition, again against Francisco Molinari, 133 yards away after an amazing drive on the par 4 12th.
Tiger Woods has taken command of his match with Francesco Molinari, his second.
Perfect tee shot here, just 133 to the hole. Molinari already on the green with the birdie putt.
Tiger shows it.
Okay. If you're Francisco Molinari, don't you have to say, come on? And look at this. Tiger didn't realize it was in. Watch him here. He'll go in.
Oh, that's the best. The best reaction from golfers is exactly that.
Yeah.
It's like when Michael Block
says, I don't need the putter. We're good. So on that shot, he went 4 up with 6 to play. Obviously dominated the day against Molinari. Poor Molinari. And Tiger just being Tiger on that day.
Back-to-back shots at Molinari there. All right, my number 2. Now that I got the 19 Masters out of the way, let's get into moments for me and to broadcast calls. I'm sure you can ask any golf fan, really any golfer, and they can tell you the exact putt that came with the words, better than most. We go to the 2001 Players' Championship.
Johnny, that's better than most.
How about in?
That is better than most. Better than most!
Unbelievable.
How about in is the best addition line in between the better and most comments. That's one of the most iconic holes in golf. The direction that ball took to, Randy, the speed in which he had to hit that putt, the slope of that green. Tiger gave a Tiger moment to all of those fans.
Absolutely unbelievable. And there's so many great moments. And you know what I'm going to go with as my number 1 is the shot Tiger says is his best ever. Came in a tournament he didn't win, the 2002 PGA at Hazeltine in Minneapolis. He birdied the final 4 holes on Sunday to put himself in position, put the pressure on Rich Beam, who had a big lead that Tiger was trying to chase down. But his shot of the week came at the end of round 2 from a bunker 200 yards away on 18. The wind whistling. Look at the right at the flags. See the trees in front of him? This is a 3-iron out of the sand.
Well, that's what you would pull out of your bag.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
How about go over?
I'm going to tell you what, this might be one of the best golf shots I've ever seen. Oh, my word. That is one of the best I've ever seen. Look at that smile.
That's just incredible, isn't it? You think about, and then he hits the putt.
Of course, right?
Yeah, then he's putting the pressure on. Think about it. In the sand, trees in front of you, wind blowing. 200 yards, 3-iron on the green to within 10 feet.
Well, let me tell you, I find myself in the sand a lot. I find myself in front of trees a lot. I find myself in very windy conditions. I don't find myself hitting a ball out of the bunker like that.
No,
Ever.
absolutely unbelievable. And Tiger, by the way, still says that that's the best shot that he's ever hit because of the circumstances.
Well, and he's leaning over the ball, right? Like he's not even fully in the bunker.
Right. Yeah, his feet are above the ball. Unbelievable.
What a good shot. Okay, and I will also add to the line of great shots. My all-time favorite Tiger moment, the 2005 Masters, or as we remember it, the Chip Hurd round the world.
Hold back. Here it comes. Oh, my goodness.
That right there is arguably the shot he's most known for. And the stop on the lip is everything, right? You see the slow motion of the Nike logo rolling into the cup. It's the double fist celebration with the caddy for me, the crowd going berserk. And at all places, right? Of all places to do it at, it's Augusta. Absolutely legendary.
And Nike had a commercial by the next week showing that ball going into the hole. Yeah, it really was. The shot, and if we would have gone back, both broadcasters said, yeah, if he just gets it within 10 feet, this will be a successful shot. And he put it in the hole. Unbelievable. Okay, honorable mention, our director Tyler's favorite, the hole-in-one. We've got to get to this.
Tiger's got 152 yards. Should be just a nice, comfortable 9-iron for him. They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
Oh, man. We love Scotty Scheffler, and he's great. But Tiger was such... somebody once said, and I don't remember who it was off the top of my head, but Tiger doesn't move the needle. Tiger is the needle. And golf was different. There was golf with Tiger and golf without Tiger. And obviously, golf with Tiger was must-see TV.
Yeah, he's on an island of his own. Nobody is going to come close to that. And I didn't get to watch Jack Nicklaus, but and it's probably unfair to everybody that did get to watch Jack, but me watching Tiger, nobody's going to compare. Like Scotty Scheffler, you're right, best in the world, but he doesn't even come close to Tiger Woods. It's just that big of a gap between those two guys. We're going to really miss Tiger when we don't see him around the sport of golf anymore. Thankfully, we do have a Tiger-like player in Scotty, but Tiger, you're one in a million.
And doing this sports media thing for almost 43 years now, I've gotten to see a lot of cool stuff. But right there, top 5 is Tiger playing here in 2018 at the PGA and making that comeback and seeing the reaction of the crowd, seeing the reaction of Tiger, because as he said, all of these fans are wearing their Cardinal stuff. He said, I just took it to mean that they were honoring me because of the Sunday Red. Pretty cool.
We could have each done a top 10.
Yep, that's the list. Coming up, we're going to build a parlay here in the fight, and you need to stick around to see what we got. Hey, a while ago, it's 2026, back in 2012, I had what we call a cardiac incident. And I went to St. Luke's and I had quadruple bypass surgery and I went through the rehab process, and St. Luke's did a magnificent job in keeping me alive and maintaining my way of life. If you have any tightness in your chest, if you feel a clicking in your heart, and I got to tell you, I waited too long. But if you have any discomfort in your chest, get in touch with St. Luke's, because they saved me and they will save you. Their doctors are the best in the business. They're cutting edge. They have a wonderful bedside manager. And I'll tell you what, if you go to St. Luke's, not only are you going to have great cardiologists, but your surgeons are going to be top of the shelf when you go to St. Luke's. If you have any heart issues whatsoever, whether you know about them or you suspect, and even if you think you have heartburn, get to a doctor at St. Luke's. Give them a call. Tell them Randy told you to call, and they will take care of you. They are the best heart specialists in town. The number 314-205-6060. You can find them on the web at stlukes-stl.com. They will put their heart into making sure that yours is healthy at St. Luke's. All right, it is time for us to build a parlay, and we do have Olympic hockey coming up. Both the USA and Canada going for the gold, and the United States team is going to be in action. And Matthew Tkachuk, we mentioned earlier how he has to get going. Plus 190 to be an anytime goal scorer.
I love it.
There you go. Anytime goal scorer, Matthew, at plus 190. Come on, St. Louisan. Let's make it happen.
And I missed that on day one. I went Matthew. It was Brady.
Yep.
So you know what I'll do for you, Randy, as my voice goes up 10 octaves? I'm going to bet on Brady so that Matthew scores.
Okay. I like this. Okay.
So I'm going to do that for our fans, too, at home. Okay, I'm going to go to the Genesis Invitational. And, you know, I don't like doing a winner in golf because it's just too difficult to hit. Way too difficult. Even though Scotty is the clear shot to finally do it after his last 2 weeks. I'm going to scroll down to Russell Henley. I love the value that Russell Henley is getting right now for top 5. I think it's his turn to kind of get back up an inch closer. He kind of comes alive in the majors. I'm going to say he starts a little bit earlier. Give me Russell Henley a top 5 finish here.
All right. And we will have a nice bet
Not really
there.
that high. I thought it would be higher.
Get 1596 back. That's pretty darn good. Russell Henley to finish in the top 5, and Matthew Tkachuk to score a goal. All right, we have built a parlay, and we've gotten you $1,596.
We're winning big.
And coming up, we've got Take It or Leave It and Story Time with Uncle Randy, plus Today in Sports History here in The Fight. All right, time for Take It or Leave It. And Andrew, yesterday, or earlier today, actually, we talked about Tiger Woods in the list in our last segment, as a matter of fact. And he's talking about perhaps playing on the senior tour where he can ride a cart. Take it or leave it. If given the choice this year, you, Andrew Rogers, would rather see him play with the seniors at the Stiefel Charity Classic than against the kids in their prime at the BMW.
Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that because I think he's going to be playing better if he's in a cart.
And I think he has a chance to win.
And that's the other thing. When you face off against the kids, you have a good chance to win.
Yep.
Maybe he's going to be so far gone like he was when he was in his prime. Randy, Clemson gifted the Army baseball team something really cool. It was an American flag of bats that read to Army baseball as the future leaders, warriors, and protectors of our great country. It is an honor to compete against you this weekend. Thank you for making the USA the greatest country in the world. God bless Clemson baseball. Really cool. Take it or leave it. Clemson baseball is the most patriotic team in all of college baseball. What do you got?
Army's got a team.
There you go. I guess so. There you go. I'm going to take
those guys are serving their country.
That is true.
Serving
that
their
is,
country.
That is true. I'm going to take it because of what they also do for all of those that have served middle innings of games.
Okay.
Go up, shake hands. Army ended up following in suit of that. So maybe I will lean Clemson because of that reason.
Friend of the show, Mitch Harris, played for Navy.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, now it's time for Story Time with Uncle Randy. We are going to pick a decade, we're going to pick a sport, and I will recall a story from that decade in that particular sport, and it looks like we're going to get to the 2010s, maybe?
I think we're going to stop in the
70s. Okay, so little boy Randy, and now we're going to come up with sport for us. Oh, 70s foot.
Basketball, it moved over.
70s basketball.
We've been doing a lot of basketball.
We have been doing a lot of 70s basketball. Okay, so let's get some 70s basketball in here. And I think we might have talked about this on the show, but I don't know if I told the story. One of maybe the greatest performance ever in the NCAA championship game was Bill Walton in 1978 here for UCLA, 44 points in the championship game as John Wooden wins. I think it was, pretty sure it was 78. Anyway, the UCLA at the arena with a spectacular game by the great Bill Walton. And it was a great team. They had Jamal Wilkes was on that team. They had a lot of talent on that UCLA team, but Walton was the man. And it was so cool. And by the way, the floor at the arena was bad, so they had to ship in Indiana's floor. So you had a big eye on the floor.
That's awesome.
at the arena. But it was just an amazing Final Four, and amazing to see Bill Walton, who was my favorite player because he was just so dominant, the big old redhead, and doing it for UCLA. It was just an incredible time in St. Louis with the Final Four here.
Yeah, not only do you have the stretch run of the greatest college basketball team in that era, but you get it in St. Louis and you get to witness it firsthand.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I believe he was 22 of 22, or 21 of 22 from the field.
Is that
from
good?
the floor. Yeah, pretty good. So
Are you a superstar?
There he is. And there's Kentucky. Goose Givens, I think, was on Kentucky.
Look at that hair, too.
Oh, yeah. He was something. He was great. So, yeah, that's some 70s basketball for you. And thanks to Tyler for finding that video very, very quickly. Pretty incredible. Okay, on this date in sports history, in 1980, at the 1980 Olympics, we all remember the hockey team. But American speed skater Eric Heiden, who went into those Olympics as the guy who was going to be the big star, the hockey team wasn't expected to win, he won on this date in 1980 the third of his 5 gold medals at Lake Placid. This was the 1,000 meter that he won on this date. He also won the 1,500 and the 10,000. One of the great Winter Olympics athletes in the history of American sports, Eric Heiden, on this date.
Not sure why he's bent over there. It's not like he was sprinting out there.
I think he might have been sprinting.
This is speed skating.
Speed skating,
yeah.
And
yeah,
I think they're faster now, but he was relative to everybody he was skating against. Look how dominant. Look how big of a lead he has. And he dominated every race like that. He was unbelievable.
And you're telling me the hockey team wasn't supposed to win in 1980?
Not after they had lost like 10-2 or something like that to Russia or to the Soviet Union at Madison Square Garden 2 weeks before the game started.
Yeah, but it's just a bunch of college kids, though. They have their ups and downs.
Yeah. We lost to a bunch of students. Yeah. So. Hey, Cardinal baseball starts this weekend, and we have our first spring training game here on Matrix Midwest at noon on Monday. So you want to be tuned in. If you don't have an antenna yet, make sure that you have one in the office so that you can watch the spring training games. And yeah, you can just screw it into the back of your TV. It's really easy, don't cost nothing. And they're going to be playing the Florida Marlins. We're going to be on every day here on Matrix Midwest, Monday through Friday. And the Matrix Midwest app, we air at 5 o'clock and 10 p.m. and then again the next morning at 7 in the morning as well. And if you want to participate in the fight, which is always fun, log on to matrixmidwest.com, use the Carricker and Company drop-down menu, fill in the form, and that'll send us an email. Andrew will get in touch with you, and we would love to have you be a member of our team here and to be involved with the fight. And look at all the stuff we got coming up. We're going to have Cardinal baseball every single day, a 1-hour recap of every Cardinal game for about 150 of the games here this season in 2006.
Are you sure it's not 450?
No, not quite.
Not 450 games in a Major League Baseball season?
We don't have that many. No. So check us out. And, of course, you can always find the podcast at the Matrix Midwest app. You can listen in the car. Just Bluetooth us and listen wherever you're driving around.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I always listen back.
All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. For Andrew Rogers and our outstanding director, Tyler Klaus, I'm Randy Carricker, and we will see you next time here in the fight.